What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We are back in the Mustang doing the same road trip as last week to my cottage, and it's gonna be the same kind of video. I'm gonna be making a list on 5 things I hate about the Mustang this week. So yeah, let's get into the list. Alright guys, so to begin this list, my number one hate on the Mustang has to be the suspension. So this car is super light in the rear, and it is rear wheel drive, so that just doesn't mix. Hold on, let me get this light. Because the car is rear wheel drive and it's a front engine car, it is very light in the back, and that's a problem in these Mustangs because they have a lot of power and a lot of torque, and they tend to lose control a lot, especially in the rain. If you don't know how to handle the car, it's hard to drive and very easy to lose control. The car really tends to fishtail a lot, especially in turns, because it oversteers in Toronto roads. If you're pushing a turn a little faster and you hit a bump and the roads are wet, the rear end of the car fishtails like crazy, and it's very, very scary and very hard to control. When I was learning how to drive, I learned on this car. At the beginning, right when I got my license, it was terrifying. I really hope Ford fixed this problem in later generations. It's a very big problem, and that's why it's number 1 on the list. So number 2, I really do not know why Ford did this. This is probably one of my biggest hates on the car. And it's just like a little thing. So this car doesn't have a trunk button, like to open the trunk. You can't open the trunk from the outside of the car unless you have the key. I really don't know why they didn't put a button there. There's a place for the button. Why didn't they put it there? So if my car is turned on and I have to go get something from my trunk, let's say I'm warming up the car, I can't open the trunk from the outside of the car. Let's say I have stuff in my hands. I have to put the stuff down, come inside the car, and push this button right here. That's like the dumbest thing I've seen in a car. Why not push the button? There's even cars now with sensors where you could kick the bottom of the car and it opens the trunk. Why not put the button? So that's the second hate I have on the car. Alright guys, so we are around halfway. Gonna get some Tim Hortons, you know, Canada road trip. No, I'm playing guys, but I am getting Tim Hortons coffee because I am craving a coffee right now. I might get a muffin too. Got my coffee, got my muffin. Let's head back on the road and continue this list. I did make it to my cottage, but number 3 has to be the technology in the car. So here's the actual car. If any of you guys are new to the channel, this is my 2010 Mustang. Number 3, the number 3 thing I hate on this car is the technology. So the stock technology on this car is horrible. Entertainment system, that old thing that I took out of the car. So let me show you guys. I have the Tesla screen, if you guys didn't know. I converted that a year ago actually. So I converted it to the Tesla screen because that old dinosaur that Ford put in here in 2010 was horrible. You had to be some kind of hacker to be able to use Bluetooth on that thing. It was honestly outdated. It looked horrible. It was horrible. Buttons, no screen. There was that tiny screen. It was like an inch by 6 inches, that screen that told you what time it was. It was honestly very, very, very ugly. Not only the entertainment system is the problem with the technology, but there's also no memory seats on the car. Like, especially the driver's side, okay, the passenger side, but there's no memory seats in this car. Like, I drove 1991 Audi 100 and it had memory seats. It had 3 positions that it could memorize for you, and as a detailer that's like a must, because when I detail this car I move the seats like crazy, and to get it back to that perfect position that I like is a pain. On that first drive it sucks. And in 2010, like, that's not new technology. Volvo had that in 2005, Audi had that in 1991. How does Ford not have that in their Mustang, which is their like #1 car, you know? So yeah, that has to be number 3 on the list. Horrible technology in this car. I also heard that some Mustangs of this year, the 2010s, did not come with auto headlights, like the headlights that turn on automatically. That's just crazy to me. That's like a must, because like I had cars that didn't have automatic headlights and I forgot to turn them off, so the battery would always die. But yeah, so number 3 has to be technology. Ford, fix up on your technology. I don't know how the S190 or S550s are, or the S650s are with technology, but I hope it's much better than this car. Fourth thing that I hate about this Mustang has to be the visibility. So I'll show you guys the interior. It's not only with this car, I know it's with almost all muscle cars, supercars, hypercars, all that stuff. They are very low to the ground and have very little visibility. So the pillars on this car are very thick and the visibility is horrible, especially when turning, checking traffic, stuff like that. Also, checking your blind spot in this car is like almost impossible on the driver's side. I did not help the situation with the louvers, the side louvers. Pillar is huge right here. Same with this pillar, the B pillar. So again, guys, look at that. You have no vision here. So if a pedestrian was crossing, just started crossing and you're turning, you could barely see them. So visibility is horrible. Look at the rear view mirror. Look at the B pillar. Look, so when you check your blind spot here, you can't see anything. Can you guys see anything through that little thing? Number 4, visibility. As you guys can see, very horrible. And let's move on with this list and go to number 5. So guys, number 5. 5 is gonna be the hate that the Mustang gets. Everybody thinks they are F-boys or reckless drivers. Crowd, I'm not gonna say it, they hit crowds. All because they get labeled, that's what it is. They get labeled as F-boys and crowd killers. They hit crowds and lose control. That's, again, due to the suspension. And I really dislike that because obviously not all Mustang owners are like that. Reckless drivers, and it's usually because they are very inexperienced drivers. Mustangs are very cheap and very fast. They have a lot of horsepower and rear wheel drive. Again, they lose control very easily and fishtail a lot, which is why Mustangs got labeled as crowd killers. But then again, it's not only the Mustangs. We just got unlucky. It's every muscle car that loses control that easily because they are very cheap, very powerful, and rear wheel drive, light in the rear. So it's very sad that the Mustang got that bad reputation because of a few bad drivers and a few videos, when you can find videos on every car sliding into a crowd, leaving a meet. So yeah, that's number 5. Very sad, but it is what it is. I love the car still. Even after all these 5 things I hate about the Mustang, I love this car. It is, just look at it. It makes me so happy. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, comment if you guys agree with this list and if you guys would add anything to this list, and also comment if you guys want to see a part 2 to the things that I love about Mustangs, and then also a part 2 to this video. I can make a part 2. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like, subscribe, and have a great day.